Again, welcome everybody. Thank you for being here today. We're here to talk about the BYOT movement that we're having here at Deepwatch, obviously. So your tech, your choice, and how BYOT and MDR puts you back in control. We're here today with Securonix, and we have, as one of our presenters today, we have Chris Jacob. He is the field CISO at Securonix, and he has about 25 years of deep cybersecurity experience, it says in his intro. It's amazing. So we also have with us today Anand. He's the Chief Product Officer here at Deepwatch, and he controls our product vision and our roadmap going forward. So one thing about housekeeping is I will say if anybody has any questions, please throw them in the Q&A chat box, and we can either answer them on the fly or as they or towards the end. Either way, whatever works best for you guys. But with that, I'll throw it over to Anand, and we'll let it go from there.
Awesome. Thanks, Charlie. Thanks to all our audience here who've been able to make some time to hear from us. As Charlie mentioned, my role here at Deepwatch is to continue to make sure that we develop products and capabilities that delight our customers. And one of the things that we're going to talk about today is how this partnership between Deepwatch and Securonix is very much in line with kind of how we are hearing feedback from our customers and how they want to make sure that vendors and solutions providers like Deepwatch are working together to get the outcomes that customers are looking for in this ever-changing cybersecurity landscape. Okay. So one, we're going to start with this agenda. We'll talk a little bit about why we are continuously hearing from customers around why BYOT matters for them. We'll introduce Securonix and Deepwatch and why we got together. We'll talk a little bit about what each of us bring to the table. And we'll spend a lot more time on if you are a customer, what are the benefits that you will accrue with the partnership and with the solution sets coming together from Deepwatch and Securonix. Okay. First and foremost, let's talk a little bit about what are the things that we are hearing from customers. What are those market trends that are driving this need for BYOT? BYOT standing for bring your own technology as this MDR landscape continues to evolve. Okay. I think most of you understand this reality of the modern landscape, right? Your attack surface, meaning the things that you need to manage within your environment, within your organization, continues to grow. It started out pretty simple. We had laptops, and that's kind of all that you needed to manage. But now the plethora of devices that you need to manage, whether it's end-user devices, whether it's cloud assets, IoT devices, as the case might be, depending upon what your business is. Cloud assets, we talked a little bit about that. All those SaaS applications, and now with the use of AI, more things that your end users are asking for use within your organization. So that's a continued expansion. We all know the adversaries are continuing to innovate on their own, right? They are using AI. They are continuing to use, traditional social engineering techniques to continue to try and look for ways to get into your organization. And what we hear from most of our customers is they need to invest in additional tool sets, right? And these are just the acronyms that the industry pundits have created. But we know that most of our customers invest in a SIEM solution, like what we're talking about from Securonix and potentially others. And I won't go through each and every solution set here, but the notion is pretty simple. If you need to protect your ever-expanding landscape, you need to have solutions. You need to invest in tools. The unfortunate reality is when you invest in these tools, there's lots of alerts that each of these tools fire. They detect something bad. They need you to take a look at what that particular detection was. Is it really bad? Is it a false positive? And that continues to increase the load on our customers. And the customers, while the load is increasing, are continuing to struggle with the talent you need, solutions you need to be able to kind of look at these alerts. The typical industry adage is, oh, it's needle in a haystack. I actually believe it's more like needle in a needle stack, right? It's just a different color needle, just a different size of needle, and that just makes it hard for your security operations teams to be able to constantly be looking for those indicators that are going to detect bad and be able to thwart the adversarial activity. Now, the whole MDR industry was built to help our customers tackle this particular problem, right? Where MDRs bring a combination of appropriate technology and appropriate people to be able to do this for our customers so that the customers can focus on what they do best, which is to focus on their business. And we help them with this particular challenge that we see many of our customers dealing with. And that's why if you look at the industry pundits and their predictions in terms of the growth that the market is likely to see, different pundits have different numbers, but generally the indication is it's about 30% penetration, which means 30% of the customers today are using some sort of an MDR. The prediction is in the next, let's just say 3-4 years, that number is going to grow from 30 to 75%. And that's obviously going to be expanding the market opportunity for providers like Deepwatch to help even more customers tackle those problems that we talked about on the previous slide. But here's the interesting thing. Not all MDRs are created equal. We talked a little bit about why you need BYOT in the MDR scenario, but there are other options. There's traditional MDRs who have a very different way of dealing with that problem, or you can hire an MSSP who has a very different way of looking at the challenges and trying to solve for it. Obviously, we are a little bit biased in our proposition around why we think BYOT is the right strategy, but let me kind of unpack that a little bit. The advantage of a BYOT from a customer standpoint is you have flexibility on choosing your security stack. The tools that matter to you, the tools that are the best fit for your environment, as opposed to what you might get from a traditional MDR. It's a vendor lock-in. They want to bring their technology, they want to bring their tools, and don't allow you to make those choices. Or on the completely opposite end, you have a tool agnostic solution provider, but then they don't bring any expertise to bear. But it's just not about technology lock-in or being agnostic or bringing the right advice to bear. Typically, what we find is customers are looking for even more things than just technology flexibility. They want an outcome-driven MDR who can take your security stack and get the right outcomes for you. But at the same time, not make it a black box. Provide the transparency of what are they doing? How are they getting those outcomes? It's like how you typically hear from a story that I heard from a CISO. He said, don't come and tell me that the answer is 39. Tell me how you got to that answer so that makes their team better. That allows their team to trust why the 39 was the right answer, if you will. So transparency becomes a very critical part of how customers choose an MDR. And when you are bringing your own security stack, your own technology, it becomes easier for you to kind of understand what is an MDR doing with your technology stack. And then last but not the least, they want coverage. They want coverage of your entire technology stack, which means not just do the things that many MDRs do when there's an active threat, but what do you do before? What do you do after there's a threat that's been detected in your environment? And how do you make the organization a far more preemptive and proactive based organization, which allows for greater coverage of the tools that you are bringing to bear within your environment. Now, with that context of why we think BYOT matters as we think about picking your appropriate MDR provider, let's introduce why Deepwatch and Securonix came together. The beauty of this particular partnership is we bring very complementary assets as we think about how to deliver that outcome that we talked about on the previous slide, which is what you care about at the end of the day, is protecting you from the adversaries. Deepwatch, we are the industry leader in precision MDR. We bring a tremendous amount of expertise to the solution. We bring 24/7 human visibility, human coverage to the solution. I think many of you might be familiar that Securonix is a 6-time Gartner MQ leader for SIEM innovation. They bring a tremendous technology stack, a cloud-based analytics stack, where they have a cloud-native engine built for limitless speed, which is what you need in this day and age when the amount of data that you are ingesting into the SIEM is exploding, and you want to be able to quickly get to the data points that matter the most to you. And the way we work with our customers from a Deepwatch standpoint is total transparency. You know what is happening within your Securonix environment from what Deepwatch is doing. You look at everything that we do from a SOC or security operations workflow, the dashboards that we provide. You have full visibility into what we are doing for our customers within your environment per se. And we are very outcome focused. At the end of the day, there are lots of metrics that any MDR will provide, but the final metric that really matters is, are you safer by leveraging Deepwatch along with their Securonix investment that you have made? And that is what we are very focused on, is getting you to that outcome. And, Securonix not only has the market leadership, the cloud scale, they have AI built into the platform, which we leverage along with the AI that we bring to the party here. And the combination of those two is really what leads to that outcome that we are both at Securonix and Deepwatch driving for our customer base. Now let's talk a little bit about why customers choose Deepwatch. And I'll turn it over to Chris to talk a little bit in a little while about why customers are choosing Securonix. As I mentioned earlier, Deepwatch is very focused on what we call precision MDR. Precision MDR fundamentally means we are finding that needle that matters in that needle stack, right? We do the work for our customers. We look at the data that's going into your Securonix SIEM. We help our customers manage the Securonix SIEM so that the right data sources are going in there. We work with the tools and the solutions and the capabilities of Securonix to make sure that we are able to detect the right things. We do our triage of those alerts by bringing in data, all the data that's resulting in or residing, I should say, in Securonix, being able to search for that additional context. We do that by leveraging our humans, by leveraging some of our AI capabilities, augmented by Securonix capabilities, so that we give you that fidelity in terms of that alert, that validation, and that total transparency, so that we can deliver an outcome, which is when we see a bad thing happening in your environment, we're able to make that visible to you. We're able to contain that so that that particular alert is neutralized as quickly as we can. Okay. We talked a little bit about why precision MDR, right? The key thing is, as I mentioned, as part of our BYOT, is that we are providing a custom solution that's tailored to your business, trained on your priorities, and the technology stack that you have invested in. Every company has choices to make, and we do believe that we want to support the choices and make sure that we understand your risk profile. We talked a little bit earlier about being comprehensive. Comprehensive is being about proactive, preemptive, and being responsive to your needs. Yes, we do all day long stop threats as they are happening in your environment, but we do provide recommendations for how you can improve your threat posture by being more proactive. Maybe it's fixing a vulnerability. Maybe it's looking at a particular visibility gap that might be preventing us from getting to that outcome as quickly as we can. Those are the kind of things that we do to make sure that you have a very proactive stance. And I'm putting the hearts down a little bit by this notion of transparency. We call it clear, where you see every detection, right? The detection is within Securonix itself. So you can go into the Securonix UI and see every detection that happened, every decision that got made, every data source that we were tapping into. At the same time, if we were to open up a ticket that we escalate to you, you know who worked on it. The real person, the real SOC analyst with a name associated with it so that you know that there's a person behind that particular work that got done, and that allows you greater comfort and greater trust in the outcome that we're trying to deliver. And as an MDR provider, we are always on. We run a 24/7 by 365 operation. So at any given point in time, at any given holiday, any given weekend, any given point of time in the day, we are always working that particular alert, looking at more context for that alert, and ensuring that we escalate things to you. Or in many cases, customers want us to contain that alert if it's on a weekend so that, when they come back on a Monday morning, we can work that appropriate proactive step that we need to take. This is what we provide to our customers, and this is what leads to our customers choosing Deepwatch. I talked a little bit about our overall approach, right? So we support a number of solutions in our overall offering. Securonix is a key partner for us. That is why you see that right in the middle of our technology stack right there. And that is kind of why we built this particular partnership, right? A lot of things happen with respect to the data that goes into Securonix. I talked about the detection. I talked a little bit about the alert, the triaging of the alert, the decision-making, the appropriate containment action that we want to take. All of that is the thing underneath Securonix and on top of Securonix that we provide. Everything's a combination of technology plus human beings at every step of the way, making sure that the appropriate set of activities are happening with the highest level of fidelity and with the highest level of human oversight to ensure that we are providing those level of visibility and the level of outcome that we talked about earlier. Okay. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Chris to talk a little bit about Securonix.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I'll start with why organizations choose Securonix in the first place. And really, at the core, customers are looking for better threat detection with less noise. Security teams get overwhelmed with alerts, and they want higher fidelity detection, helps them focus on what actually matters. We bring that advanced analytics behavior detection to help identify real threats faster while reducing alert fatigue. They also choose us because they want more unified security operations platform. Rather than just stitching together workflows from different tools, Securonix helps bring not only the SIEM, but UEBA, which is the core where we came out of, SOAR and threat detection into a more streamlined operating model for the modern SOC. Another key reason is really visibility. Modern attacks move across identities, cloud services, endpoints, networks, SaaS applications. So customers need coverage across that full enterprise footprint. Securonix is built to help security teams detect and investigate threats across those environments in a more connected way. Speed, also very critical. Customers need to move from alert to investigation to response very quickly. Securonix helps with that with built-in context, prioritization, automation, and some more support for faster analytics decision-making. From an architecture standpoint, customers also choose Securonix for being cloud native, scale, flexibility. Environments growing more dynamic, data volumes keep increasing, and teams need a platform that can adapt to their business as the threat landscape evolves. Ultimately, this comes down to productivity and outcomes. And I'm glad Anand mentioned that earlier. We are also very outcome driven. We are seeing that trend more and more, especially at the C-suite, caring less about the details and more about the results. Most SOC teams are resource constrained, so improving analyst efficiency really matters. With introducing the agentic AI-driven enrichment, prioritization, workflow support, we can help teams do more with the resources they have while improving detection precision and accelerating their response time, strengthening overall SOC effectiveness. can go to the second slide. That foundation is especially important when we talk about managed detection and response. When we look at an MDR specifically, conversation starts with outcomes, not just alert volumes. The value in servicing higher confidence threats so analysts can spend more time investigating and responding and less time sorting through noise. It's a major reason Securonix is such a strong fit with Deepwatch and general MDR operations. Second point is breadth and visibility. MDR is really most effective when it can see across the full attack surface, not just one control point. And with Securonix, customers gain stronger detection and investigation coverage across identity, cloud, endpoint, SaaS, insider activity, which is increasingly important in real-world attack chains. Speed, again, matters here. In an MDR model, unified detection, context, and workflows help analysts move faster from signal to triage to action. That operational efficiency directly impacts response quality and customer value. Another differentiator would be precision. Behavioral analytics, curated threat detection content, and risk-based prioritization help uncover subtle or complex attacks that rules alone would miss. That helps improve consistency and confidence in the threat detection pipeline. We're also built for managed security operations at scale. Its cloud-native architecture and open integrations make Securonix easier to operationalize across different customer environments, technology stacks, which is super critical in MDR and MSSP use cases. Finally, customers benefit from less tool sprawl and simpler operations. A more unified experience for detection, investigation, and response helps streamline workflows, makes it easier to deliver strong security outcomes. So that's really where the combination becomes compelling. Securonix provides the intelligence-driven platform foundation, and Deepwatch brings the managed expertise and operational execution to help customers turn that capability into measurable security outcomes. Back over to you, Anand.
No, thank you, Chris, for that commentary. And, it was quite interesting as Chris and I started to put the slides together. I created my slide and Chris provided his slides, and we really didn't even look at our slides, but you could see the kind of alignment that you are seeing across kind of how Securonix thinks about, supporting their customers through their platform, and they're leveraging MDR partners to achieve the outcome. And frankly, we are very much aligned with the same thought process around customers investing in platforms such as Securonix, and we adding our value on top of the platform, both leveraging capabilities that the platform provides. And you've seen the tremendous amount of great capabilities coming out of the Securonix platform on these couple slides, and we leverage that along with what we bring to the table. So let's go on with that. Talk a little bit about some of these better together elements, which might feel a little bit repetitive, given that we've talked a lot about it. But I do want to put a bit of a pointer on the 4 key benefits that we have seen customers articulate as we have shared our proposition together to a number of common customers per se. The first that we talked about is getting to that outcome around security operations maturity and that improved security or threat posture, right? This is what you are trying to reach when we talk about the outcome. You do not have a big security operations team, yet you want to have the right technology and scalable infrastructure, in this case, the Securonix cloud-native SIEM, and you want to augment that with expert-led operations, which is what Deepwatch and our security experts come in. And our security experts not only know the technology, meaning we know Securonix really well, we know the trend landscape very well, but we are also having experts who understand your risk profile, your environment, what you care about the most. And when we, like I said, augment that with the infrastructure, that's what you get. You get that maturity where not only do we together kind of provide those outcomes from a security operations standpoint, you also mature your teams. Many of our customers have small teams that are within their SOC, and we can make sure that your teams are more mature as a result of the effort we do. And from day one, you have an improved threat posture. This is what most of our customers want, and the combination of our capabilities allows you to do that. The second thing is all about accelerated detection and rapid response. To be able to do that, you need that broad, comprehensive visibility. Chris talked a little bit about it. They provide coverage across a multitude of sources, right? I'm just talking about a few things here in terms of EDR and XDR and cloud. I probably should have said endpoint and identity. But you can see that Securonix actually has a very broad platform for ingesting all kinds of data that we need to be able to detect those threats in rapid fashion. And then the combination of both Gen AI and hyper automation coming out of the Securonix platform, augmented by capabilities that we have built as Deepwatch, helps you reduce all those false positives, gets you that high fidelity, reduces the analyst fatigue, make sure that the analysts are productive. And what that fundamentally means for you as a customer, once we've done the hard work from a platform and a people standpoint, drastic improvements in the stock metrics that really deliver measurable reduction in risk for you. And there's a whole slew of stock metrics that we can talk about. Most common metrics that customers care about are MTT or mean time to metric, maybe a mean time to detection metric. It may be a mean time to respond metric. It may be a mean time to notify metric. Whatever those metrics are, between the dashboards that Securonix has and between the dashboards that Deepwatch provides, you will have full visibility into those metrics and how we are enhancing those metrics. And more importantly, how those metrics are reducing the risk that you see within your organization from a threat landscape standpoint. The third thing is all I talked about multiple times, transparency and readiness, right? Your SOC platform has a number of workflows. The workflow could be as simple as what fires for a detection, what fires when you're doing UEBA type detections from Securonix, what happens post that detection, how does that particular detection get triaged, what are the ways in which context is being added into that. And you will see that the full transparency is provided because we are working in your Securonix environment, right? Therefore, you see all the things that you want to see in your technology stack, not with an MDR who's kind of taking all the data and putting it into their technology stack and are not giving you that transparency.
And then just jump in here real quick. I'm sorry, just to add, I think this is super important and becomes even more important as we're seeing the rise and adoption of AI, both generative and agentic AI, in the compliance and transparency becomes paramount with the use of AI and the approach of human in the loop, making sure that there are still people that are making that ultimate decision. The agents are supplying the information those humans need to make that decision, but human in the loop being super important, and the ability to log and be able to audit what has happened from an AI standpoint. So that transparency, transparency is very important to help lead to compliance. The compliance requirements around AI are still growing and being developed. The more transparency you have, the more you are prepared for that compliance as it becomes more formed. So sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but just
no, those are absolutely terrific points, Chris. So thank you for bringing that up. Transparency and compliance were always critical, but in this new age of AI, it's has taken on a heightened awareness and a heightened priority for our customers. So, point very well taken. And, what you can expect through the agentic effort that we are putting together, along with the, latest Securonix developments on AI, you will get that transparency that you're looking for. So bottom line is, for you as a customer, you're decision ready. You get those recommendations, you get that risk reporting that is so unique to your risk profile that you are ready to take on the board. You are ready to take on, other executive teams that are looking for the appropriate visibility from you as a security team within the customer. And then last but not the least, money matters. And, the notion that we are vendor agnostic, along with the low cost of ownership that Securonix brings with their cloud native platform, means you have an economic advantage. You get an ROI for the investment that you are making in your security operations stack, along with the technology and along with the people who are doing the work. And you can continue to justify that for your organization and provide that, math in terms of ROI that the decision makers are looking for, so that you can justify your appropriate investment.
And to add to that, if I may, the lower total cost of ownership, super important. In addition to that, the predictable cost of ownership. Technology is the lever that we always pull to try to improve tools, and especially around things like SIEMs. But there are other levers that we can pull outside of technology. And I think that's where a lot of SIEM vendors really need to focus. That is one of the major issues that we see across the entire SIEM market, is that lack of predictability around pricing. You have some sort of an event, maybe not an actual breach, but some uptick in activity that causes an increase in, the requirement for hot storage and indexing. And then you get a bill at the end of the month, or the end of the quarter, from your SIEM vendor, and it's 2, 3, 4 times more than what you expected. So that the economical impact is super important, and a place that we have spent a lot of time focusing. And I challenge the rest of the market to also focus.
Yeah, great point. And the other thing that the combination of our capabilities provide is Securonix is very focused on providing a very cost-effective solution with predictability, as Chris mentioned, and we help do that for our customers. Right? Maybe that's a log source that you want today that you don't need tomorrow, right? And those are the kind of optimizations, if you will, that we can do on behalf of you for the environment that you are investing in. So the combination allows you to get the economic advantage that we believe our customers deserve. So the call to action from our standpoint is, if you are interested in learning more about the depth of the combined offering here and want to migrate from your current SIEM or your current MDR to this compelling offering, we would love to spend some time with you and go a bit more into detail and understand your requirements even more. Both Chris and I are here to support any of these kinds of migrations that you may be thinking of. I put my email address here, but Chris is a partner in crime, as we kind of continue to make sure that we support our customers the best. And with that, we move to Q&A.
Yeah, I think we've got one here already, and I'll read it out to you guys, and then you guys can sort of take it from there. So, does Deepwatch platform and process make Securonix an even better SIEM? And then our detections we see across many SIEMs as an example. So it's kind of a two-part question.
Yeah, I mean, that is, maybe I'll start first and then, turn it over to Chris as well. I mean, that is exactly kind of what our partnership entails, right? As we think about kind of how do we make the Securonix SIEM better, that means aligning the capabilities of what Securonix provides with the kinds of requirements that you have. And at Deepwatch, we have two sets of experts in our team. One are what we would call the threat experts, who look at the detections that you need enabled in your environment. Securonix has a number of detections that they bring to the table. Which ones matter the most to you? We help you with that. But as I mentioned earlier, to turn on the appropriate detections means turning on the appropriate log sources. So we have a whole engineering organization that complements the team from Securonix, who will be working with you, ensuring that the appropriate log sources are turned on, that they are always working at any given point in time. That's what we call our SIEM engineering organization. So we help you, I would say, not optimize, but really embellish Securonix and its capabilities with the right set of things that we should be working with within your environment.
Yeah, and what I would add to that, I guess I would answer it more in with an analogy. I think that obviously I'm biased, but think that we have a great SIEM and UEBA product over here at Securonix, but it's it's kind of like a race car. You can have the best put together car available, and it comes down to how well it's driven. And so the partnership with Deepwatch allows us to put the best possible talent in front, or in this case, in the driver's seat of that car. So yes, I do think that the partnership makes the Securonix SIEM better.
All right. I know, Anand, you were kicking around something earlier, talking about customer experience, I believe. You could kind of.
Yeah. No, awesome. I mean, the thing that often in the webinar, the question I get is, great that you have a partnership. Our customers actually leveraging this combined offering. And, the interesting thing here is there were a couple customers who actually drove this particular partnership. They were already a Deepwatch customer. They were moving to a Securonix solution. And they were the ones who pushed us to kind of come together as two vendors and build out this offering. And so we have those customers already leveraging those offerings and providing tremendous feedback. And, to your question about optimizing the solution, that is exactly kind of how we started to build out our combined offering so that we can drive the solution with the requirements that these customers brought to bear.
You're going to add anything to that, Chris?
No, I don't think I have anything to add to that. I think you did a great job.
All right. Well, I don't know if we have any more questions or if there's anything else you guys want to kick around. We're happy to absolutely take any questions that you got. Anand, put his email address, but you can reach out to Chris as well. I know both of these guys are on LinkedIn, so you can reach out there. Of course, the Deepwatch website or the Securonix website. They'll be happy to help you. So I think with that, since we don't have any more questions, we're going to bring this webinar to a close. I want to thank Anand and Chris, both of you, for your time and your attention, as well as wonderful presentations today. So everybody enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and we'll come back and do this again sometime soon.
Thanks for having me, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for joining the